Welcome to the CXR channel, our premier podcast for talent acquisition and talent management. Listen in as the CXR community discusses a wide range of topics focused on attracting, engaging, and retaining the best talent. We're glad you're here.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of Career Crossroads podcast. We're excited to be here today for this Thanksgiving holiday week edition. And I've got with us this week, Elaine Orler. Elaine, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Okay. Elaine, I'm excited to talk turkey with you this week.
Right back at you, Chris. Yours looks like it's ready to be eaten.
It does, actually. I think you won the turkey hat contest, if there would have been one.
Well, thank you for that. I'll take the winning.
It's good to see you, Elaine. For those who don't know you, I've known you for years and years and years and years and years. But for those who don't know you, why don't you give us the famous escalator pitch of who Elaine Orler is?
Oh, you know how much I love doing those escalator pitches, not. So Elaine Orler, let's see, I've been in the industry for 20 plus years. I understand you're not supposed to say more than 10 anymore. Otherwise, it makes you sound old. So I just say 20 plus, but we won't go beyond that. Started my career at a little company called Qualcomm back in the days when nobody knew what cellular devices were going to be. Before pre-cell phone, what we have today is our attached device. And have progressed my career through consulting starting in 1999. So founded a couple of different companies along the way, founded Talent Function as a consulting firm, which we operated for 11 years independent and were acquired by CLO, honestly, a year ago in 4 days, which is hard to believe. I'm happy to talk more about that, but it's already been a year. Also had the opportunity to co-found the Talent Board and the Candidate Experience Awards with several of the marquee industry leaders. And then spun up another company called Talvista for diversity and inclusion. So if nothing, I'm an entrepreneur that's ready to start another project.
So you've been bored?
Bored, yeah. I like to do one thing only at a time. No, that's not true. 2 or 3 are pretty much my capacity level.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would imagine that you stay pretty busy, that's for sure.
I do.
So what have you been up to as of late?
As of late, so really the acquisition by CLO has been one of the best things and best decisions could have ever made. Talent Function was doing really well as a standalone company, but one of the things that we've really gravitated towards wanting to do was to be able to grow bigger and also to go global. And the CLO acquisition gave us that opportunity. It was like runway that we just wouldn't have had as a standalone company. And we've doubled in size in resourcing and client engagements. We're through the moon on where we are with the new work. So I would say everybody is busy, busy, busy. I think that ties well into the rest of what's going on in talent acquisition and recruiting anyway, but have been grateful for the work, grateful for the clients that we have. We get to work with some of the best name brand companies out there. Some of them are repeat customers. One of them you might remember from way days back has come back around to us. And so we just get to see the evolution of these organizations very quickly.
That's super great. Well, so it's funny. It's a great segue into our topic because we're not just talking turkey today. The idea that we are super, super busy, I think it is good for us to sort of just take a breath, right? Take a moment and remember over the course of the year what we are thankful for. And so that was kind of the gist of inviting you on the call for this holiday week. So why don't you start, since you have the better hat, clearly. Is there one thing you would share with the industry, your industry family, your industry friends, what you are truly thankful or truly grateful for over the course of this last year?
Oh, definitely. And there's so many to be thankful for. But I think over this last year, I would just say the relationships that have matured over decades have just continued to become stronger and stronger. I think in this industry, you don't burn bridges because everybody knows everybody, and it's one great big family and community that has just continued to mature. The project work that we get, but even just the random calls that I get from clients that we worked with 6 and 7 years ago, that just spun up something new and thought, hey, we just wanted to let you know what we worked on back then is still working today. It's really a treasure just to see that the work gets recognized, but that we just have such a great community overall.
Yeah, I think so. Mine would sort of in the same vein there. It is directly related to the community, but I am thankful to have, and I think I put this in our forums earlier in the week in one of the other communities, but I'm thankful to have the luxury of being incredibly, having an incredible tough decision as to where to allocate my own time amongst friends, amongst family and community members, right? That's our biggest resources, where we spend our time. And so sometimes having to struggle with where I allocate that is just a testament, I think, to so many of the amazing people that we get to work with, and so many of the amazing people we've brought into a trusted circle to really invest in, and who return and invest in us. I find that to be one of the most enriching parts of the work that we get to do, is just the fun element of the people we work with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, well, you brought up something, and I would piggyback on that. This concept of work-life balance that has always perpetuated. Well, I just think it's just life balance in general, because of the starting of companies that we did, because of the relationships that have been evolved, and because of even the way Cielo operates, that I just feel like I've always had the opportunity to be balanced. We work really hard. We work, day in and day out on the projects that we do and make sure client success is there. But I feel like I get just as much freedom. Just took a 7-day cruise to Belize and Cozumel. Didn't even take my laptop with me. So first time in my whole career that
Who are you? What do you mean you didn't take your laptop with you?
Here it is. The balance is truly coming forward. And was really grateful for that time, but just grateful for the way that work just affords us to really be full humans in what we get to do every day.
Yeah. So I think it was Jason Seiden who coined, and if I have this wrong, someone feel free to call me out, but coined the phrase profersional years ago, right? Trying to find this balance. But I think, could it be time to bury that? And could we just be saying life balance? Would that be the new, we're just trying to put it all together?
I like life balance. It just, because it goes to every aspect of what we're trying to do.
It does. Yeah, I think it does. And I think you raise a really good point. At a time when there is just so much burnout, and there's so much video fatigue. Thanks for wearing your hat on our video today. There's so much video or Zoom fatigue. And I think there's topical fatigue too that we're seeing. So we've got these big challenges we've been trying to solve for the last 20 months or so. Leaning in. At some point you lean in too far without that balance, you tip over.
Right.
And I think that's a really good call out.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. I still can't believe you went on a vacation. You didn't take a laptop.
I didn't take a laptop. Nope. I did pay for the internet on the boat. I could not completely.
So you were on your phone. You're on your phone.
But not for work, for family.
There you
family
go.
And Facebook posts. Let's be honest. It was all about the Facebook posting while we were traveling around the Caribbean.
Well, it's good stuff. I love the work that you get to do. I've always been a big fan. You do a really good job of sort of diversifying, I think, your efforts too, from a balance in that. So giving back to the community as well as sort of, leaning in and learning and teaching in it. So I've always been a big fan of that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I hope to continue to do it. And again, the runway that we've had with Cielo is only affording us more opportunities and the opportunity to go global. Speaking of global, you and I have been around the world at least once together. I think that just opening up of travel again. I've got to go to London. I've obviously got to go on a cruise. I'm going to Bermuda next week. So I can't even express how grateful I am for international travel starting to open back up again, because that was one of the perks and the true balance aspects that I love about our jobs in the past. And I'm looking forward to more of that in the future.
Yeah, I am too. I'm excited that travel's starting to open up. It'll be great. I think we did, Jerry and I we've had one business trip, I guess. We went to HR Tech earlier in the year to Vegas. Although Vegas does oftentimes feel like another planet, it certainly wasn't another country. And we enjoy doing a little bit of that travel. I don't think we have any big travel locked in yet for next year. Everybody still seems so tentative in terms of what they will allow from being on property to sending their employees to other properties standpoint. Are you seeing anything differently?
No, I think definitely for domestic, everybody's still work from home, the partial move back to office or the trend of just, what will be a hybrid workforce piece is there. I just think there are pockets where there are some definite opportunities where there is just a global nature that needs to happen. So I want to grow our consulting practice around the world, which requires some time on in country to really start to grow those things and spend with clients. So slow but sure, it's going to start happening. But I'm hopeful for next year. I don't want to talk about whether vaccinate or not to vaccinate. That's a whole different topic and a different
hats for that. Yeah.
Regardless, travel is one of those high points and one of those things I was grateful for in the past and looking forward to again.
Yeah, I think nothing said. I think this is one of Jerry's life lessons, and that we've learned along the way is that there is no better way to really connect with somebody than in person and sort of breaking bread. That is, the lifeblood of a lot of very successful relationships and communities. And so I'm excited to get back to that.
Right.
In the wine.
And there's Jerry. And the wine.
Don't forget the wine.
So Jerry, since you unmuted, we're going to call on you as well. Give us your one big, what are you grateful for over the last year? You got something to be thankful for?
Oh, many things. Obviously, many of the things that you folks talk about in terms of relationships, that's critical for me in the sense that I can't say 10 years of experience at this point. I have to say 50, which screws up every resume anybody would look at from that perspective. But 50 is a big number right now. So my one thankful thing that I must say is that in 1971, I was fortunate enough to marry a young lady, and that on Thanksgiving, because we both had off. So physically at 10 o'clock in the morning, I got married in 1971 with just family, couple, and actually my brother, my sister, and my best man, and that was about it. There was about 10 people there. So given the size of my extended family, that was very small. And this Thanksgiving, November 25th, falls on the same day. And so I will be having Thanksgiving with my bride and ask her for another 50 years if she'll do it.
Jerry, what do you think she's going to say?
Say what?
Another 50.
What? Are you kidding me? I decided I'm going to take her to France, and we're going to take a river cruise through the wine country.
Oh, that'll be wonderful.
Don't take your laptop.
I'm going to try not to bring a laptop.
So, Elaine, if we've got to give a nugget of advice to people who maybe right now, totally springing this on you, who maybe right now are struggling with the balance, what would be something we would tell them? What would be a first step or a piece of advice we would give to them to try to maybe help get them in a right space?
Oh, that's a really big question because it took some time. It definitely is one of those things where you can skew based on what you're most excited about and you avoid what you're not. But that shouldn't be family. That shouldn't be home. That shouldn't be the attention of what else really makes life fully life. So I think for me, what the balance comes in really knowing the hours that I can work, but also being able to know that there are times during those days where I can take breaks during those days to be part of the rest of what's going on in my world, whether it be through the church community that I'm with, whether it be with the kids that I have and their adulting lives that I'm still trying to interfere with, or any of the other aspects. We're pushing 29 years of marriage, which is hard to believe. And there's time spent there to make sure that that's still going to make it to 30. But I think the biggest advice I'd give somebody is don't sacrifice one for the other, because the long-term gain is you can have them all if you just practice what is balance. And our balance is different to everybody. It may be 40 hours a week, it may be 35 hours a week, it may be 60, depending on where you are in your life and the energy that you have to give. The older I get, the more it becomes 40 hours a week that I can balance between things. But being productive in the time that you have is probably the most important piece that I can offer.
I love that.
Be present. That's the final. Whatever you're doing, don't be thinking about the other thing you're supposed to be doing. Practice being present with where you are.
I love that. I'll add to that just something very simple, and it is a theme that continues to come up in my life in the certainly last few months. And I'm not really sure where I first picked it up at, so I don't know who to credit it with, but no is a complete sentence. And when you're looking to balance what's on your plate, and you're looking to balance the work that you have ahead of you, and you're looking to decide where you can spend your time and what to invest in you, I think a lot of us get asked a lot of us. We get a lot asked of us, and I think it gets hard, especially when it's people that we love or care about in the space, to say no. But we shouldn't have to qualify that we need time to lean into our own mental wellness and our own headspace. So no is absolutely a complete sentence.
That's a good one. Now I'm gonna have to practice that one going into next year.
It's not an easy thing.
It is not, for sure. Like I didn't say no to wearing a turkey on my head. Perhaps I should practice with this call.
I'm not sure I think it just arrived. We didn't really tell you what it was, did we?
Nope, you didn't. You just said away.
Sending you a costume change. Please be ready right on time. Don't open until it's there. All right. Well, Elaine, I want to thank you so much for giving us about 15 minutes of your time today. Just love you to death, and it's always great to see you. One of our longtime special friends in the space, as well as colleagues. Love the work that you do. So thank you very much.
Right back at both of you and Jerry and the whole clan. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody there.
Thanks. Look, if you've ever been to a sourcing or analytics community meeting, next week's podcast guest on Tuesday the 30th needs no introduction, but we're going to introduce him anyway. Brad Cook, he is the VP of Talent Acquisition at Intuitive Surgical, and he's going to join us. We're going to talk a little bit with him about what's going on in his space and what he's seeing when he's looking at the numbers. And until then, we hope to see everybody online at cxr.works. And if we don't see you before the next 2 days, whether it's online or there, just have a fantastic holiday week and spend some time with friends and family. They deserve you.
Thanks for listening to the CXR channel. Please subscribe to CXR on your favorite podcast resource and leave us a review while you're at it. Learn more about CXR at our website, cxr.works, facebook.com and twitter.com/careercrossroads, and on Instagram at careerxroads. We'll catch you next time.